Good morning, YouTube. It is Sunday, June 26th, 2022, 7:33 a.m. And as you see, Priscilla is not here in her nest. She's been gone all night again. She keeps saying she's going to clean this mess, but as you see, here's all her stuff just piled up on my couch. And now there's all these new boxes here. I don't know what that's about, but she somehow sleeps here sometimes, but and there's a laptop there, and then pretty much all this stuff here. I mean, yeah, those are my shelves with the laser disc, but pretty much all this stuff here, that's hers. That mess is all hers. I mean, there's my speaker back there. The stuff on the speaker is mine. Obviously, the computer monitor is mine, but yeah, she so I mentioned last night that while I was out at a bar that a couple had asked, why I wasn't at her birthday party, and I was like, well, I wasn't invited, and I had completely forgot it was her birthday, and I guess that makes me a bad boyfriend, but I don't remember dates well, and that's kind of a weakness of mine that I've expressed to a lot of people. For me, it's every day is kind of exactly the same unless I have it written in front of me. Now, I do have here my family calendar that my sister makes for me every year, makes for pretty much everybody in the family. And it does say Priscilla's birthday right there. And phone's not focusing. There we go, Priscilla's birthday. I think I heard one of my cats going through it. There's that cylinder thing I mentioned. That's that box. It's got the T-Mobile logo on it, and it says NOK SG21 Gateway GRY kit. So yeah, apparently she's planning on going with that. I'm surprised that her employer will allow wireless internet, but I guess that new T-Mobile 5G is fast enough that it's worthwhile for that. But yeah, I still haven't received any payment for her for this month's internet. Last month she only paid me half of it, even though she's basically using all of it. And yeah, the kitchen still looks the same, if not worse, because she won't clean her dishes, won't clean that cooking mess. And granted, none of that is my mess. In fact, the only thing over here that's mine is this pencil sharpener here that I use for getting my karaoke pencils sharpened, in this can, which has my karaoke pencils in it. Now, there was a battery charger somewhere in this mess, and I looked for it the other day and couldn't find it anywhere, which is really frustrating because I need to charge the batteries I use for my wireless mics for my karaoke. That is my toolbox on the ground. I need to clean that up, but it's really hard for me to clean up my toolbox when it's so weird how this thing won't pick its brightness level. It's really hard for me to clean up my toolbox when she's got that pile of mess of whatever the fuck it is on top of it. And then the refrigerator is the same thing. Like the bottle of water is mine. The PBR, I always forget what the stuff is called. It's a PBR hard coffee. That's mine, but God, it fucking stinks in here. All the rest of this crap is hers, just leftovers and whatnot. Like I get it. She needs the insulin, and obviously I'm not gonna throw her insulin away. But just, my God, you keep all your shit in my fridge. Can you clean it? That's all I ask. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated with the situation. So apparently she's having a great night celebrating her birthday. She didn't come home last night. As you see, her vehicle is not there, and I haven't, heard any word from her as to where she's going or what she's doing. To be completely fair, I did tell her that, being around her in the circumstance of, if I have to look at her and I can't touch her, that's really miserable and frustrating for me. And it's just basically a tease anytime she's just kind of parading herself in front of me, but not letting me, don't let me have access to that after years of access to that it's exceptionally frustrating for me. So I guess I should probably be thankful she's not there. Well, furniture's starting to pile up here again in the alley. Fortunately, rain last night, which is never good for furniture. It looks like it's been there a long time, but it was just monsoon rain hit it. It was really nice yesterday. We got like a real wood dresser there, and these shelves are kind of cool. Although that one doesn't open. Oh, it's got one of those little, got like a child lock. We got to reach in and lift up to get it to work. Anyway, it's kind of neat. Not that I have any place to put any more furniture, but it's weird. Dumpsters keep attracting more furniture. God, I keep seeing people in the alley where there are people in the alley. So speaking of people in the alley, I had a interesting experience in the alley last night. So last night was a super depressing night for me. At the end of the last video, I mentioned I was leaving the old brass rail because my phone was down at like 4%, and there was nobody there that had a phone charger, and the bar didn't have any phone chargers for customers, which to me is something a bar should really provide. But they didn't have that, and and there's the bird scooter. It's back. Talked to a woman in the wee hours of the morning that was using that bird scooter to push stuff around with. She says she's not homeless. She says she lives in this last building on the end here with her boyfriend. Said she was mostly out trying to get away from her boyfriend. Well, this is interesting. The scooter was intact last night, but it looks like since then, she looked like a tweaker. But yeah, it looks like since then they've taken the control module out of it, and otherwise left it sitting here. Well, this meets my qualifications of abandoned scooter. Because with that stuff cut out and gone, there's no way that Bird will ever be able to come back for it. So I think that's my cue to come back and move it to my scooter graveyard. I was out with my friend. Corey the other night, and he told me he was kind of surprised when I went through all that time without my car that I didn't repair my scooter. And I told him it was just so frustrated after we had done, because he had helped me repair it when we went riding on it. I think I did a couple scooter ride-along videos last November, and it was just so frustrating for me when it died, 3 days after we got it working. And granted, I think all I need to do with the damn thing is people in the park. Should a big one. All I need to do is completely take it apart, which is difficult. And he had pointed out, when we worked on it before, I had worked on it. We worked on it in my carport. Because I really don't have any space in my apartment, as y'all saw. And I said I worked on it. We worked on it in my carport because my car wasn't there. Of course, my car's not there now, so I guess I got that space again. But it's going to get really hot really soon. I think it's supposed to hit 108 today. But said that he was saying that I'm surprised you didn't work on it. And I guess looking back, that was probably should have done that. I mean, that was because the temperature was nice, during the daytime then. But yeah, it's a lot of work to get to where I need to take the whole handlebars apart and take the dashboard out and then remove the handlebars and then get into the get into the neck, into the shaft of it, and then, wow, nice car. That's cool. I don't know how anybody can afford to drive one of those these days, but that's freaking cool. Then again, I don't know how anybody can afford to drive any one of those these days, and that's about 25% of the vehicles on the road nowadays. So obviously gas is not too expensive yet. So $10 a gallon, here we come. I am really kind of curious what's going to happen with with gas when it does get over $10 a gallon. You know, since pretty much every gas station displays are only designed to have one digit to the left of the decimal point. I'm curious how gas stations are going to deal with that. I don't know. It'll probably be like it was in the late 70s when gas first went over $1 a gallon, and I'll just put a little one on the left. That's not an adjustable thing, but when you consider how many places where their gas display is digital, it's we'll see when that happens. I don't know. At the rate gas has been going up, it's interesting to think, you know, when will gas hit $10 a gallon? I do kind of wonder when that would be. Maybe, I don't know, another year or 6 months. I mean, there's a pretty, you know, when it went up the dramatic rise to what it is now. For most of it, I wasn't driving, so it was easy for me to not really be aware of the increase. But yeah, it. Anyway, that's something I wonder about a lot, when that's going to happen, how that's going to affect people. I mean, supposedly it's really bad for everybody now, but I still see people driving these big old trucks. So big SUVs, another big old truck over there. So anyway, where was it going? Ooh, a car beeped at me. Oh, that's a big old truck beeped at me. That's a warning of a killer truck. I'm gonna get on the side of the road. I hate that the side of the road doesn't have a sidewalk. Like, there's literally no space between that car and the bushes that are right up against the curb. To walk around, and I literally have to walk in the street. Or I can walk down the alley. I'll walk down an alley. I like walking down alleys. So anyway, last night, yeah, my phone was dead, or just about dead. I walked over to Kitty's Cocktails. I was kind of surprised Kitty's Cocktails was really busy. Lately, when I've gone into Kitty's Cocktails, it's been pretty dead, and I've always kind of maintained kind of a level of frustration that after all the time of them telling me that they were going to hire me for karaoke, that they hired somebody else. And, you know, it's like, well, you know, if they'd have hired me, I'm sure I would have built up a crowd there and it'd be a lot busier. Well, anyway, apparently they've managed to build up a crowd without me. So I guess that's a good thing. I like to see neighborhood bars succeed, even when they kind of snub me. Yeah, it was kind of a different crowd. I didn't recognize anybody there at all. I asked the bartender if she had a phone charger. She had one for iPhone, but didn't have USB-C, which is, I'm still on Obama phone 3, so I needed USB-C, and yeah, she didn't have that. But, you know, she at least looked, and had I had my iPhone, I mean, I'd have been in luck. So, you know, I at least appreciate that she tried. I ended up not ordering anything because, you know, at that point I was down to like 1% on my battery, and I just, like, to me, my most important thing was just getting my battery back up. Like, the thought of being stuck in that part of town with no phone was horrifying to me. So after that, I walked westbound, went by Seth Moses' recording studio. He was definitely there, and he had someone in there, like a rapper in there, recording. I could kind of see them, like, they've got the windows kind of blocked, but there's just enough crack in the windows I could kind of peek through and see somebody in there just kind of bouncing and jamming up with a microphone. I could hear the music coming through through the windows. Sounded pretty cool. Look, there's a lizard. I ran too fast. Anyway, yeah, I could see, I could hear, I had some stuff going on, but the door was closed, and I also smell weed coming through the door, so that was fun. But yeah. Anyway, I haven't heard back from Set Moses at all since the last time I wandered by his studio when he was recording and the door was open. And he seemed so happy to see me and asked me about recording hooks. And that was the night he played his remix of Roger Troutman, or actually Zapp and Roger, Computer Love, where he'd given it a more modern beat and kind of rearranged it, and such a great mix of the song. He was talking about, maybe stretching it out because there were some extra instrumental beds he'd added to it. He was talking about stretching that out and maybe trying to get an artist to record some of his own verses over the top of that. I would have been happy to get the remix just as it was, but he said he was going to email it to me, but yeah, I've never heard back from him since. And I guess part of it was probably, not anything that I did or anything, but he asked me about, what it was like over at Bullock's, and if they ever hired, live entertainment there. If they ever, and I said, well, that they had a cover band that played Friday and Saturday, but no, they didn't book anything. And then I proceeded to tell him about the conversation I'd had with the owner regarding hip hop, and how he's like against hip hop, and said, never have a hip hop. I had to bring hip hop in, which of course was a funny thing for me. It's like, that's kind of what my night is. I mean, I think it is that my night is karaoke, and he's never really there for it, and he just sees the good numbers and hears the good stuff about it, and so, but it's not at all a hip hop night, but I do play a lot of hip hop, and I have a lot of people doing hip hop karaoke because I have such a great selection of hip hop karaoke, and that's just kind of the demographic that my show attracts. So anyway, that's so yeah, I told him, it's like, yeah, that'll never happen there. But I told him, I said, y'all should come check out the show though, and check out what I'm doing, and I mean, you certainly, welcome to spit your own verses on a karaoke track if you come in. And I said it'd be a good place to meet people that are into the scene, that dig what you do. And I said, I'm certainly down to play music from your artists, that you've got, and get a kind of a crowd reaction from it. It felt really positive the last time I hung out over at his recording studio, but really kind of hoping maybe that could happen again, but nah, doors are shut. And granted, I could have knocked on the door, but I mean, he was clearly recording, and how fucked up would that have been to do, right? I mean, I don't want to be the guy who fucked up somebody's take that could have been perfect because I pounded on the door. So I just kept on walking, and I was not in a really good frame of mind anyway, so I need to be, and I really wasn't the last two times I saw him either. So someday I need to go connect with him when I'm not so fucking depressed, and maybe talk to him about doing some music again, or I don't know. I feel like we could do something. I really do. I mean, he has told me he's genuinely impressed with my voice. I have no writing skills to speak of, unfortunately, but anyway. I was going to walk to QT and get a drink, and then as I was walking down the alley, I remembered that I get my free, Sip and Save drink at Circle K, so I'm going towards Circle K instead. Nice day out right now. It's pretty nice out. What time is it? 7:52. It's almost 8 a.m. Almost 8 a.m. I have no idea who my girlfriend is celebrating her birthday with or getting her birthday sex from, but it's not me. And I don't know. I'm just... I was talking with my good friend the other day, and he's like, either way, it doesn't change anything for you. You know, she's not giving it to you. So whether she's giving it to somebody else or she's just simply gone completely frigid, it doesn't change, you know, my situation. And he told me about how, like, he was with a girlfriend that kind of a similar thing, and he just started just to not be around her. He started going to the dollar movie theater and watching, you know, 3 films a day just to not be there, which is probably a more frugal, better way to spend the day than all the day drinking I've been doing in bars. So that's a thought. Anyway, somebody coming up behind me with 2 bikes. Yeah, that's not sus at all.
Our family friend was also an attorney and an investigator.
Then again, they both have for sale signs on it, and that guy looks like a pretty serious cyclist, so maybe he's actually the kind of guy that buys bikes and rebuilds them and legitimately sells them. Anyway, So just kept on walking, ended up spending most of the night at the Hideaway. And the bartender, at least I like the fact the bartender at the Hideaway did seem to immediately recognize me and seemed happy to see me. And I, you know, of course I let off with, hey, you have a phone charger? And she did. She happily took my phone and plugged it in for me. Which of course meant I was at the bar without the phone. And the karaoke DJ uses an app to put in song requests and stuff, but I just went up to him and I was just like, hey, I'm having a rough day. I said, I don't even have my phone. Can you put in songs for me? And he did. So it's not like he's not capable of doing it or wasn't willing to do it. So that was nice. I only did 2 songs the whole time I was there. I probably could have done more towards the end, but I just was so unbelievably depressed. First song I did was LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out, and of course I dedicated that to my so-called girlfriend that was out having her birthday party that she didn't invite me to. And it's like, woo, that's awfully specific. I'm like, and somebody said, ooh, that's awfully specific. I'm like, yeah, fuck that bitch. and proceeded to do Mama Said Knock You Out, which is it's such a violently aggressive song. And easily, like, I have to say probably my favorite LL Cool J song. I mean, LL Cool J has a lot of great songs. I mean, I love that one. Really like Going Back to Cali as well. But I don't know, hard for me to pick a favorite between Going Back to Cali and Mama Said Knock You Out. But I don't know, Mama Said Knock You Out just always gets me pumped up, and when I'm frustrated and angry, it lets the adrenaline out on a karaoke mic, and I think it's kind of surprising people because not a lot of people I saw that knew me there, and it was the crowd every time I go there, it just gets blacker and blacker. It's kind of the shifting demographics of that neighborhood, you know, and so damage, yeah. Owned that, and afterwards somebody bought me a shot. I'm not even sure who it was, but that was pretty cool. I mean, I saw Sarah Jerry. I was just drinking beer and having a burger. By the way, Hideaway's burgers are freaking amazing. I mean, they're like $11 now, you know, but I mean, food is expensive everywhere. Used to be the burgers were like $5, but I don't know, maybe they were more than that, but at any rate, I get their plate of burgers and tots for like $11, and I still don't really feel I still feel kind of like I got my money's worth compared to other food at other places, because the burger is huge, and it's loaded with all the regular veggies, and it's actually made on a grill, like hand-shaped patty made on a grill, and I just got a plate just full of tater tots, so that's cool. There's Circle K right there. I should probably head over there, but it's so much other shit that's on my mind right now. So, I sometimes tag this in my videos as Old Crosscut Canal Park, but there's the sign, and I never really get in the video. I find it funny that it says open 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. because the reality is that this is a This is a multi-use path. This is a bicycle. This is part of pedestrian infrastructure, and how are you going to close that off? For several hours. I mean, where are you supposed to walk after that time, right? Or bike? No parking after closure. This must be a generic sign for the city of Phoenix parks, because no parking after closure. There's no parking at this park anyway. It doesn't have a parking lot. No camping, no shopping carts. I have heard that the city of Phoenix has been actually trying to enforce the no camping thing over at Pierce Park, and I believe they're probably enforcing it here as well. I've definitely seen less. In fact, I think I got a video where they were running some people at the south end of this park, where it ends over by the 7-Eleven by McDowell, where the cops were running people out, and they weren't doing it. They were letting them take the shopping carts, though. This is no shopping cart. They were letting them take the shopping carts. I was talking with somebody over at Oz Bar, just talking about, just generic conversation about current events. There's another compensator pickup. Nice truck. Sorry about your penis. Enjoy that $10 a gallon gas that's coming. No truck needs to be any bigger than that classic Ford right there. I think that's a Ford. Anyway, we been talking about stuff, and somehow we got on the subject of how the police, what the laws that the police choose to enforce are just based primarily on, who they're going to, who they can get a paycheck from, because the cops are ready to give a speeding ticket. Cops are ready to give a DUI. The cops are ready to give traffic citations. Shit, as I left that bar, I had a cop following me. I was in the left lane on Bethany, and he was in the right lanes. We were headed eastbound. And he was hovering in my blind spot on the right, just hovering there. Like he's waiting for me to change lanes and cut him off, deliberately trying to hover in my blind spot. And it's probably looking at my, it's probably running my plate as well, which is not a problem. Everything's current on my car. But, and I stopped drinking around midnight, so, I think I would pass a breathalyzer. I don't know for sure, but I certainly felt comfortable to drive. At any rate, it's like, he's looking to, get that ticket. And we're talking about, things that they do. And one of the things we got on the subject of was shopping carts, and how, there's a shopping cart law, but the people that are stealing the shopping carts are homeless people. And they don't have any money. So it doesn't matter if you cite them and fine them, even though there's laws in the books where you can cite them and fine them for taking the shopping carts. They won't pay those fines. And there's actually a law in the books that they can be arrested for it as well. But if you arrest them, that costs money. That costs taxpayer dollars to book them and put them in jail and feed them in jail. So, there's no money in that. The cops don't want to do that. But I saw a YouTube video where police departments are impounding shopping carts that are left in parks and on sidewalks, and then trying to charge the stores for them, because there's money in that, which to me is pretty fucked up, because the stores are the victims of the shopping cart theft. Really? So you're going to go after the victims of crime because they have money, and do nothing about the people doing the crime because there's no money in that. Wait a minute, aren't our tax dollars supposed to be paying you people to enforce the law? Like, evenly? not go after victims of crime? Yeah, to be fair, it wasn't Phoenix PD that I read about that was doing this. This was the PD in another city. But still, Arizona does have a very specific shopping cart ordinance, and stealing shopping carts is very much against the law here. And and here you see it's on the sign, posted, no shopping carts in the park. But the last time I saw cops running homeless people out of this park, they did nothing about the fact that they had shopping carts. Like, they are there violating the shopping cart law. How about we enforce that? Oh, you're not going to do that. You're just going to run them off. Okay, why? Because there's no money in that. And then there was another guy talking to me about how, he used to have a house in another, and again, it was in another city, so this isn't a Phoenix thing, but that people that would walk by his house would litter, and every so often he got citations for litter in his yard. He didn't put the litter in his yard, and he wouldn't be home all the time, so he'd come back. People would walk down the street, littered his yard, and then he got a citation for litter in his yard. And it's like, how about we ticket the people that are doing the littering? Well, those are, pedestrians and homeless people, and they don't pay those tickets, so there's no money in that. It's so much easier to ticket homeowners, because if homeowners don't pay their tickets, you can, they will pay their tickets, because you can go after them via property taxes for lien on their house or whatever. The city has homeowners by the proverbial financial balls, but people that are, generally speaking, people that are walking are homeless people and poor people, and just everybody with money is driving, like that guy. And not everybody who walks is homeless. I'm not homeless. I'm walking. Hopefully I'll hear back from Rob today at some point. I'm optimistic that he'll get my car fixed. So I have to be to work at 7. If memory serves, I gotta be on the bus. God, it's been a while since I've dealt with the bus schedules. If memory serves, I need to be on the bus at like 4:45. Leave the house at 4:45 in order to catch the bus and make it to Amazon by 7 on a Sunday. So I don't know if I need more sleep between now and then. I've been trying to sleep since I got home, and I got home at about 2:30 in the morning. 2:15 in the morning ish. Yeah, Priscilla hasn't been home all night. So I got home at a pretty reasonable hour. I went to sleep, and I've just not been able to sleep more than about an hour without waking back up, and just waking up just with the pain of just. Sometimes loneliness is it's a pain that almost borders on like a physical pain. Speaking of physical pain, my chest is hurting again. I sprained it somehow stacking pallets. I remember I did it once before. Well, I don't know if it's stacking pallets or pulling them, pulling stuff with a pallet jack, but definitely I did it working at Amazon. I did it again, and the thing I most remember about it is, and it seems to be getting better. It's definitely better than it was, because I noticed it Wednesday night when I was working. It's definitely better. It's on the left side, but I noticed it was happening when I was with Crystal, because she was wanting to do rather intense adult playtime type stuff that involved me lying on my back and her riding me kind of like a bicycle, and but she was trying to put her weight on my chest with her hands, which would have been good were it not for the pain in my chest from having heard it. And granted, I don't have that problem with Priscilla of any extra pressure being put on it, but it doesn't change the fact that my chest hurts. Hopefully that pain will go away soon. There's no visible marks on it. Oh, by the way, there's the marks on my shin from when I dropped the pallet on it. Priscilla was kind enough to clean it up and put a bandage on it, so at least she cares about me on some level. That's worth something, I guess. I mean, I kind of cleaned it up myself, but not as nicely as she did. Gosh, where was I? So yeah, after I did Mama Said Knock You Out, I was nearly in tears, thinking how frustrated I was with the whole situation, and then I was playing Word Dojo by myself. At one point I ran out my money, and I walked away from dojo machine and was carrying my food, and I walked back and somebody sat where I was sitting, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not sitting there. It's not like it's my reserve seat or anything, but he wasn't playing the game. And I was just like, well, so much for playing the game and having the one thing in here that, takes my mind off of how painfully frustrated and lonely and alone I am. And unlike, being at the gay bar where I'm just surrounded by gay men, which I'm not interested in, women that are most likely lesbians, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything because they're being cuddly with women, which it's so. I was surrounded by women that were same thing, women that are there with their guys and being that whole mating ritual going on, which I'm not a part of, and it just puts me. It's not good for my psyche right now. And that didn't sound good. By the way, gas is $5.59 a gallon, $5.49 if you prepay for it with a Circle K Easy Pay card. So I'd throw that out there since the sign is right there. I'm eager to see when they add an extra 1 in front of that 5, where they're going to put it and how they're going to do it. I would imagine somebody's working on solving that problem now, though. There's no way that the people that have all these gas stations don't see that coming. It's my memories of the night are kind of fuzzy. I know at one point I went out into the back to the patio, and again, all these groups of people kind of there with their friends and doing their thing, and I'm just like really alone, and it's really well lit on their patio, so I couldn't really find a table where I felt comfortable being alone. And mind you, I didn't have my cell phone to try to escape with, so because it was behind the bar getting charged. So, kind of alarm going on. I think it's at the fire department. Such an awkward place for a fire station, considering how that 47th place is just such a narrow road there, and it has this awkward intersection. And as you see, it says no left turn except emergency vehicles. Yeah, fire trucks got to go there. That's where their station is. And there's signs that say not to block that when you're on Thomas, but you'd be amazed how many people do. Which becomes a problem when the fire trucks come out and need to go that way. Anyway, at one point I came back inside and I saw this woman that I always found her pretty attractive, even though she's a bigger girl. She's a really great singer, although kind of on the diva end of the scale as far as anyway. Kind of judgmental of other singers to a point that I'm not. It's kind of painful to listen to her go on that. I'm like, they're all right. That's my opinion of most karaoke singers, unless they're god awful. It's like, they're all right. But she is good. I mean, she's a good singer for sure, what she does. But anyway, I sat by her and I had like a really deep conversation about what's going on with me and Priscilla, and she's like, well, why don't you move out? Why don't you just get the court, just serve her a notice and kick her out? That's your apartment, right? I said, yeah. She says, everything's in your place. I said, yeah. I said, last time I mentioned that I would do that to her, she said that if I did that she would bring rape allegations against me. And that's a really scary thing. And she's like, well, what about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp? I'm like, well, I don't have Johnny Depp's money. I don't have Johnny Depp's lawyers. I'm, and look what he went through. Nobody believed him until a lot of money was spent to put it into a high-profile court case. So, when a woman makes an allegation against a man, it's just always women are believed. Believe women. Men are bad guys. It's what men do. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't having thoughts about the ladies walking by in the spandex. So, anyway. So it's a scary thing. That's a credible threat, you know. And what do I do about that? She's like, well, you should go to the police first. I'm like, tell them what? You know? Tell them what?